let's get it. As Juan Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Where we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion, because it's what we do teach you how to do is fall to your level of preparation. All right, the reason I said cuz just now, because I wanted to explain it to you a little further, just in case you're new to my world, understanding nobody actually rises to the occasion. Every single person you meet, every single person you see doing some great things or doing something that no one's accomplished, or accomplishing incredible feats, they actually are just they're actually just falling to the level of preparation. There was a level of preparation in place that made it so when they ran into adversity, when they ran into something difficult, they can rely on what they prepared to do. They did not rise to the occasion, as you commonly hear amongst a lot of folks, especially in the mainstream media, feeding this to your children, thinking that there's actually something to do, like something you can do. You could just turn it on and off whenever the time comes. No, that's not the way it works. It's preparation, folks. All right, so all that being said, another Wintrepreneur Wednesday, which I may, again, I just woke up a little later today, so may or may not get to the live stream today, but the article is written where we're talking all about the difference between a great team and a great program, really documenting and featuring the monumental, gigantic game this weekend between Florida State and the University of Miami. Again, it's kind of bittersweet, because I would have liked to see Florida State go into that game undefeated, but UVA, shout out to the DMV, UVA ended all that, and it's gonna be a fun game, because now we get to see how Florida State bounces back from a loss. And again, it is, I'm sure, 1,000% sure, nobody at the Miami is taking that game lightly, taking Florida State lightly just because they lost to Virginia. It's still Florida State versus Miami, and it's going to be a major one. I cannot wait. Again, being out here in South Florida, being a football aficionado, loving every second of it. I cannot wait to find somewhere to go really be around the Knowles, the Canes fans, and just be around the energy on Saturday night, because it's going to be lovely. It's going to be lovely. All right, so all that being said, let's get into today's Move Swiftly thought, where again, what we do here in the Move Swiftly, on the Move Swiftly platform, is we translate those things, those innovative teamwork lessons that you learn on the football field, and we apply them to businesses and business owners. All right, and today we're gonna talk a little Shedeur Sanders, but more so about picking the correct representation and understanding that family and business, in many ways, family and the best business decisions, and a lot of times don't work. So when you're getting into business with family and you're working with family, you gotta really do a deep dive on if you're making the right decision. This is coming off the heels of, I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, where Coach Primetime Deion Sanders went on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers, and he let a couple cats out of the bag, right? He let a couple cats out of the bag in regards to Shedeur Sanders. In regards to Shedeur Sanders' draft situation. So he said, and the main thing I want to bring up today, but he said that Ozzie Newsome, who is the longtime GM, Hall of Fame GM for the Baltimore Ravens, he said Ozzie Newsome called him, and again, Primetime used to play for the Ravens, like later in his career, he played for the Ravens. So him and Ozzie Newsome, they're really tight, really close friends and things like that. Again, fellow Hall of Fame members, the whole thing, right? So what happened was, the way Coach Primetime says it is, he said, look, Ozzie called him and they talked about drafting Shedeur Sanders to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, again, we know who the Baltimore Ravens have as quarterback, right? It's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's Lamar Jackson. And apparently what happened, again, based on the way Coach Primetime is telling the story, is that, hey, he didn't want to go to Baltimore because he didn't want to sit back behind a Lamar Jackson, all right? So that, in my opinion, is a bad decision. That's bad advice. That's not correct representation, because if it was any other player who has Shedeur's talent, and again, Shedeur has a lot of talent, it needs to be developed. It's not all the way where it needs to be, because he didn't play against the best competition, didn't play in the SEC, didn't play in the Big Ten. So there still needs to be an evaluation process in regards to how it's going to develop amongst better talent week in and week out. And that's just fair what an NFL GM has to do. So what ends up happening, and again, the way Coach Primetime is telling the story, he's basically saying, look, they're faulting Shedeur for not wanting to go to Baltimore, and it's like, why would you want to go to Baltimore and sit behind Lamar Jackson? You go, guys don't get developed in the NFL anymore, and this, that, and the third. And he basically defended his decision to not go to Baltimore. All right, now fast forward to today, again, October 1st, 2025. The news has come out that Lamar Jackson got hurt. This past weekend, Lamar Jackson got hurt. He pulled a hamstring, and he's going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks, or even more, depending. And again, those hamstring injuries, hey, they are lingering, and you never know, especially based on the way Lamar Jackson plays the game, with he uses his legs a lot and things like that. It's one of those things where it's not going to be an injury. As anyone that's had to live through that hamstring injury, it's not going to be an injury that you just get over. So now, had he decided to go to Baltimore, he'd probably be starting this week. Again, you can't predict these things. I get you can't predict these things, but finding the correct representation is important. Someone that could take a look at you outside of it being your daddy, somebody that's like a real agent, someone that knows the business, say, hey, Shedeur, you need to develop. You need a lot of things to work on. You're not the day one starter that you think you are. And if you get an opportunity to go play for the Baltimore Ravens, a solid organization like the Baltimore Ravens, go in there, be humble, do what you have to do to develop and get better, your opportunity to come. Now, had he decided, let's think about it, if he decided to go to Baltimore, he starts this week, he puts some stuff on film against actual regular season NFL talent, he puts it on film, and then the doors open for all the other 31, 32 teams in the NFL to see what he looks like, to get signed. All sorts of things can start happening for him had he decided, hey, I'm going to humble myself, go to Baltimore, learn what I got to learn from one of the best quarterbacks in the league, get better with one of the better run organizations in the league, learn a lot, and then develop and continue to get better. Then I would have an opportunity. Instead, you end up with the 5th round with the Browns and that fucking sorry ass organization that they have over there, where they have Joe Flacco, and now they're all over the place when it comes to the contract. They still have to pay Deshaun Watson a couple $100 million, so they're not really in a place where they can really provide some solid protection for him and all that kind of stuff. All of those things have to be taken into consideration when you have an opportunity. Understand that sports, playing in the NFL, is a privilege. It is not a right, and we're going to dive deeper into that tomorrow, as we're seeing guys get hurt, guys go down for the season. This happens every single year, and the mentality for all you young players coming up has to be about, how do I use the game to get myself into a better situation using my mind, because my body is not guaranteed. My body, my legs, all that kind of stuff, hey, injuries happen. So I have to depend on my intellect. I have to depend on my brain. I have to depend on my ability to decision make it. All those things that us old heads like to tell you guys over and over and over again, right? This shit happens within the blink of an eye when you realize, hey, that knee goes the wrong way, that ankle goes the wrong way. All of those things start to happen, and I'll be diving into that a little more tomorrow when we talk about Tyreek Hill and Malik Neighbors and all that kind of stuff. So all that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all my work. Make sure you inquire about the employee development workshops. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYaMove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Check it out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.